All right, hi, welcome back. So we continue 12.2 nervous system. So in this chapter, you're going to learn about the nervous system. So basically, there are two subsystems in nervous system. Okay, which is the first one is known as central nervous system, and under central nervous system, okay, there are brain and also spinal cord. Okay, for the second one is known as peripheral nervous system, and under the peripheral nervous system we have cranial nerve, which is located below the brain, sensory receptor, which is located at the sensory organ, for example at our skin. Okay, and the last one, spinal nerve, right, which is located in our backbone. Alright, so what is the function for peripheral nervous system? To connect the sensory receptor and receptor to the central nervous system, okay, which is the brain and spinal cord. Alright, so for nervous system, basically there are two types of nervous system, which are somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. But what is the differences between these two nervous systems? Right, for the somatic nervous system, it will regulate all control action. Means that we can control the action. For example, like say you hear the ring of your phone. You can control the action, whether you want to pick up the phone or you just want to ignore, right? For the autonomic nervous system, this action, okay, this involve the involuntary action, which is you cannot control. For example, the heartbeat. Okay, so now for next slide, we are going to focus on the central nervous system, the first part, which is brain. Okay, so brain. This is the cross section of the brain. Right, the first part that you need to know about the brain is hypothalamus. Okay, so this is the hypothalamus, right? And what is the function for this hypothalamus? All right, this hypothalamus responsible in maintain homeostasis and also center for regulating of feeling of hunger, thirst, your body temperature, and also water balance in your body. Other than that, hypothalamus also will release several hormones, which is from the pituitary gland. Okay, so next part in our brain is pituitary gland. Can you see there? Small, tiny, down the hypothalamus, right? So the function for pituitary gland to secrete hormone and control the body functions such as growth, osmoregulation, and also reproduction. Why? Because pituitary gland has all that hormone to control the growth, osmoregulation, and also hormone for reproduction. Okay, next. Another part for the brain is medulla oblongata. Okay, so this part, okay, is responsible to control involuntary action, right? For example, your heartbeat, blood circulation, and also breathing. Okay. Other than that, medulla oblongata also as a reflex center. For example, the blinking of eyes, okay, sneezing, right? All that action, you no need to think, but your body respond very quickly, okay, which is known as a reflex action. Okay. Next, okay. Another part is cerebellum, okay. So which is located down there, okay, di bahagian bawah sikit. Alright, this function, okay, the cerebellum function is to control the body balance, right? And the last part, which is the most important part, which is the larger parts of your brain known as cerebrum. Okay, and this part is very important because this is the site for intelligence, for example, learning process, speech, okay, remembering, reasoning, all that information being okay, being stored, being translate in our cerebrum. Okay, next, this is about brain. So next we go to the spinal cord. Okay, so spinal cord, where is the location for the spinal cord? Spinal cord are located in our backbone. Okay, so spinal cord actually uh, contain gray matter and also white matter, right? So let me show you here. All right, so this part, okay, so this is the spinal cord, all right? So gray matter, okay, which is comprised cell body, and white matter consists of axon, which is the neuron. Later we will go detail the structure for gray and also white matter, all right? And then, okay, right. So this is gray matter, this is white matter. All right. So what is the function for the spinal cord? So function for the spinal cord, okay, is to process a few type of sensory information and then send that response through the motor neuron. Okay, some of the information that your sensory receptor detect it will be processed in the spinal cord and then we transfer back to your organ, okay, for example, your hand, to reflect or to respond, which is through the motor neuron, okay. And then, other than that, spinal cord also control reflex action. For example, just now blinking eyes, okay. And another function, connect the brain with the peripheral nervous system, right? Later, we will learn detail about that. Okay, for next slide, we are going to focus on the structure of the spinal cord. Okay, so as you can see here, oops, sorry. All right, again. So as you can see here, all right, this is the structure for spinal cord. Okay, we cannot use this one, right? All right, so this part, okay, like butterfly, which is located in the middle, known as gray matter. Okay, and then the outer part, white color, okay, this part is known as white matter. Okay, and then, okay, for the, okay, as you can see, both side, left and right, there is a branch, okay, macam ada satu tube, right? So if you can see, down here, the tube, the hollow tube is very, means that there is no swollen part. So this tube, the whole part here is known as ventral root. And inside the ventral root, there is a motor neuron. Okay, and the function for motor neuron, okay, it will send the nerve impulse from the spinal cord, okay, from the spinal cord to the effector, which is, for example, muscle. Okay, and then next, on the top one here, as you can see, this is another root, but that root, okay, sorry, this root has swollen part. So this swollen part is known as the dorsal root ganglion. Okay, and inside the dorsal root ganglion, here, this yellow color is the cell body for the sensory neuron, right? And the whole parts here, okay, is known as dorsal root. Okay, so inside the dorsal root, there is a sensory neuron, which is will send the impulse, okay, the nerve impulse from the receptor, okay, to the spinal cord here. All right, and then this one, okay, this part is known as spinal nerve. And if you notice, in the spinal nerve contain both sensory receptor, which is the upper part here, and also sensory neuron, and also motor neuron. All right. So again, this is the sensory neuron and this is motor neuron. And what is inside the gray matter? So the gray matter here, we have a relay neuron. Okay, got it? All right, so that's all for 12.2.